What's up? It's Mike Adam, New 1027. I have Sam and Jeremy, a.k.a. Marian Hill. And Jeremy, this is actually our first time hanging out.
It is. It's our first time meeting in person after much correspondence.
It's mind-blowing because I feel like Sam and I, we've hung out a ton, and she's been like, oh, Jeremy's here or there or whatever. So, we've just had this correspondence via text or phone,
Yeah.
So.
I'm trying to even remember where I was for that first Lauren interview. I remember being really pissed I couldn't be there. I think I was on a flight or something truly where I couldn't even dial in.
Yeah, I think so too.
You
were definitely away.
I forget what it was.
Yeah.
But it was a big thing.
Yeah.
But, yes.
Welcome to the hang.
I know. Sam was like, I'm going to have Lauren fill in for Jeremy. I was like, all right, cool.
Casual.
So much is going on with you guys. I love it. I keep track of everything on social media, and you guys kind of switch gears from the touring to new music now. Yep. Sam, I'm definitely terrified of you in the Take a Number music video.
Thank you.
How did all that come about, the concept and stuff like that? It goes so well with the song.
Thank you. Yeah, the concept came from working with our new label partners, Platoon. Yeah. It was a really exciting process. But we just really actively wanted to kind of reconfigure things and come out the gate with something that felt really different.
Yeah.
And I just loved the concept for the video because it was really like a metaphorical animation of our process, obviously in a twisted, weird way, but you get me in a lab cooking up some shit and animating Sam who's performing, but and that's how our music works.
Yeah.
But it's obviously through this heightened music video neon lens.
Yeah. And Charlotte was amazing, who directed it.
Yes.
She's a creative director, works at Platoon. She's also around our age, so she was amazing to kind of talk to and feels really fresh, and she's super talented. And it was fun to sort of work on it with her.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time, this is totally a side note, I don't know how much time you guys get to watch TV, but there's this TV show called You, and it's about a stalker.
I've seen it. I watch a lot of TV.
No.
Okay, and do you know, in the bookstore, how there's that, in the basement, there's a glass case where they keep all the...
I didn't think of it.
I was like, oh my God, that's Sam in the glass case down there.
That case is bigger and scarier and has books in it.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was such a good video.
I follow your reference.
So explain to me about, you mentioned the label situation now. What's going on with all that? Are you happy? What spurred the change?
I think it was just, we were excited to try something new. We'd been doing one thing for the first 5 years of our career. Mm-hmm. And we were at this crossroads where we had a break and we had the opportunity to try it a different way. So it's been really exciting for us to see what it's like to own our masters and put music out and have a partner that is still Platoon has been amazing in terms of resources. They have a fashion person on staff who's going to help design merch coming up. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's been just exciting to try something new and play with having more creative freedom and owning our masters.
Did that change come pretty seamlessly? Because a lot of people, we all see what people like Kesha go through or Taylor Swift or stuff like that. Did you hit snags, or was it pretty easy to get to this next chapter?
No, it's pretty.
Say?
Yeah, well, it was really easy. I mean, honestly, I think it was, everyone was so wonderful and understanding, and I think it was sort of a mutual decision, and everyone recognized that it was probably best to try something new, as Jeremy said.
I think we were really lucky in that regard.
Yeah, definitely.
Like You Do is... It is my favorite Marian Hill song of all time.
Really?
Yes.
I think so. And I don't know if I told you this before.
I think, because we sent you a bunch of songs before we'd even decided what was being released, and I'm pretty sure it was Like You Do was your favorite.
Oh, I just love it.
Yeah.
And I took a lot of time off from listening to it because I was listening to the new stuff heavy when initially we talked about it. And then I listened to it again with new ears, and oh my God, I just love it as much as the first time I heard it.
Oh, thanks so much.
It's so good. And Sam, there's a line in there which I laugh about because I feel like it was the moment where you were like, I am going to make sure you know that I am talking about you specifically when you're like, I fell for you when I was 22 or
Yeah.
I fell for you.
I mean, do you do that a lot where you're like, I'm really going to stick it to this person? I need to put in that one line where...
Truthfully, I'd like to do it more. Actually, I don't do it enough. But I'm so glad that you love that. Yeah, it's definitely conversational. It's like fun to always throw in those little anecdotes. And
yeah.
And whenever we're writing, we're always talking about specifics. Like once you have the song concept, you know what you're writing about, and you're finishing the lyric, sometimes we'll reach a point where I'm like, we need like a crisp, specific detail, like that 22 line that just snaps it into reality and makes it feel like so real to people when they're listening.
I feel like it's very transparent and people gravitate towards that. You know, Ed Sheeran does it a lot, or where it has those one lines where you're like, that
that's
can't
too
be
specific.
Yeah, like that can't be fabricated. Like that is 100% true.
Yeah.
Did you ever come across one of those lines where you were like, this is too personal, or you just didn't pull the trigger on it because you weren't ready, maybe, or?
Oh, I'm trying to remember if there was anything like that. I don't know.
It doesn't come to mind. Definitely.
Usually we gas each other up and like.
Yeah.
We're like, go. Yeah, definitely in like outside songs for sure, but I don't think between the two of us.
No. Okay. Because I know sometimes in the studio when you're in the safe space, you're like, everything's
let's
great,
try it.
and then you put it out into the world, and you're like, should I have? Should I have said that? Or, you know.
Definitely. It's a fine line.
I love with the new music. You definitely know it's Marian Hill. You have such a unique creative sound, which is why I love you guys. Is it hard to be a fan of other people's music and, maybe be like in your Bob Dylan mode where that's all you're listening to and then go into the studio and not let that influence you too much to the point where it's like, visible in your sound?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're lucky that we've been doing this for long enough that I think if we were to listen to Bob Dylan only for a week, I think we'd write some really interesting shit that would be Marian Hill.
Right. Oh, okay.
But that would be Marian Hill.
Yeah.
I think with the two of us together, it's going to sound like Marian Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like we are unique in that, and I think it also comes from working with one producer, and I think like Jeremy's very good about sort of absorbing other people's sounds but filtering it through his
that's hard
and
that's
his process, and
that's hard to do.
I think it's partly because I don't know how to do the other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I get better and better always. You're always improving and learning, but especially early on, there were so many cool beats I made where I was trying to pretty closely replicate some shit that I loved, but just couldn't.
Yeah.
But what I ended up with was really cool too.
Right. You were like, I was trying to emulate Kanye here, and people are like, really? Because it sounds like Marian Hill.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Speaking of Kanye, I know you're a big fan. Did you listen to the new album?
I did.
What are your thoughts? Break it down, Jeremy.
Why are you putting me in the spotlight like this?
Because I listened to it. Front to back. And I said, okay, you can't go off the first listen, right? And then I listened to it again, and I have my thoughts, but I want to hear what you think first.
It's very hard for me. I will always listen to the whole thing Kanye releases, always, forever. That's just his music has had such a massive and profound impact on me and was my inspirational food for so many years and made me the producer I am. I really wanted to be more excited about this one. I'm going to keep checking out bits of it. I hope he keeps making more music. But I couldn't find anything that really inspired me on this one. It's all, there's nothing where I was like, this is bad at all.
Totally.
But I found myself not getting excited and inspired and hearing new sounds I hadn't heard before in the way that I've become accustomed to when Kanye comes out with a new album and my world changes. Which is the paradigm that I miss and love.
Right. Well, I think a lot of people, maybe it's just me, but I thought this was going to be like a Jesus Walks on steroids, right? And it wasn't that. And I think the lyrics kind of take a backseat to the production, which I think is, I mean, you're never going to get bad Kanye production, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But it just felt like a lot of all over the place, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
All right. So we kind of share the same sentiment on that, I feel like. What other producers now, like new or old, are you guys into or looking at? Do you study Phineas? Like,
yeah, Phineas is a friend.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. We first connected when I did the Bellyache remix for Billie, like, how many years ago now? 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Feels like worlds have changed.
Right.
Because at the time she was a smaller artist than us. It was
it's
so weird to think about right now.
Yeah.
And we like cut a deal on the remix and but we met both of them around that time, and they're so sweet and great. And Phineas and I have had a couple studio sessions and like spent time together wandering in Tokyo when we had a show there at the same time, and I actually have a remix for one of his songs that'll be coming out soon. But he's great and such an inspiration, and just like a great person to talk to about songwriting, and who really shares a similar sensibility. Like when we write together, we talk similarly about songwriting and lyrics and melody.
Yeah. It's funny, from the production alone on her album, I thought you two would vibe on some level, and I didn't even know the backstory of all that. So that's really cool. Do you think where do you think he's gonna go next with his career? Have you guys talked about that, or?
I mean, he's been on a wave.
Yeah.
He has been so busy and touring so much. I mean, he's doing amazing stuff with his solo music right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, they just announced another big world tour, I think.
Yeah. Cool.
But he's incredible at, like, so much of the solo material he wrote in like hotel rooms and tour buses.
Yeah.
So I think he's just going to keep writing songs and putting stuff out.
And he's young too. How old is he?
Oh, I don't remember.
He's got to be young, and I'm just like, oh my god.
He's like early 20s.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know, what I was doing in my early 20s, not that. It's like pretty epic. I know friends of Marian Hill, Shade as well.
Yeah.
And I heard somewhere that like you gave them advice, like you guys had to talk once they had that, you know, the trampoline hit under their belt. You kind of had to talk about just like the trajectory of things and like how you maneuver after having that hit under your belt. What was that like conversation like?
Yeah, I mean, I think, so it was really interesting because we toured with them in 2016. So it's been like really exciting and awesome to watch them have this moment. But I think the conversation was just something like, you know, it happens really fast and you're never quite prepared for it, and then you're just gone. So I think just take some time to enjoy it and say yes to opportunities, because you never know if they'll still be there when everything sort of calms down. Right.
And I saw some picture, I think it was you and them and roses, and what was that photo from?
And I think Mandy from Mr. Wives.
That's right. That's right. That was part of a song, or it was a charity thing?
Yeah, so it was so we did that in February, and it was actually Rose's song. Her name is Liz.
Yeah.
And she had the song called Halfway There. And sort of, I think it was released around the Women's March.
Yeah.
So it was awesome, and she was very gracious and allowed us to be a part of that remix.
Had you connected with all them before, or no?
I knew Mandy and Chelsea, but had never, or we did meet Liz because we played a show with her, like last year at MSG.
Okay.
Yes.
That,
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I had met them all before, but that was the first time we'd like all like really hung out.
Yeah.
So they're great. It was so much fun.
That's really cool.
Really
That's really cool. Has there been anybody else recently that you've met through like a friend of a friend or events or anything like that where you think a future collaboration might stem from it?
Probably.
I mean,
everyone.
I was just working with Rio Cragen all week last week in LA, and he's an awesome writer who I'm hoping to be working on his album with him, but also I could definitely see that being a thing for us. I'm trying to think of who else has popped on the radar recently. I mean, we've been writing a lot with they.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually really fortunate a couple months ago to get in the studio with John Batiste. Like insanely talented, genius, amazing human. So hopefully.
And can you say like anything about like what it's for or anything, or not yet?
No, we have to finish it, but fingers crossed we can do it soon.
When Jeremy's off doing all this like production stuff and things like that, do you ever get like separation anxiety, or are you like, man, I need to be doing like this stuff for other side projects or things like that, or how does the dynamic work?
No, I think I think because we work so much together and have this history and have worked pretty consistently for like 6-7 years.
Yeah.
I think like we're at a moment where it's nice to take some time, and I think it's important to work with different people.
It's good to like, I think we tend to like, we'll be writing together for like a month or two, and we'll get like 5-6 songs, and then we will like take a break. And like go away from it, work on other stuff. And I feel like every time we come back, we have new ideas, new inspiration, new things to tackle, new ways of approaching stuff. Right. And it keeps it fresh.
Early on, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
There was this funny moment where like in the Hype Machine days, Jeremy had a remix that went to #1, and we hadn't had a song that went to #1. Okay, we're talking Hype Machine, okay? So
and our next song did. So it was.
Yeah.
I get very competitive, very jealous, and I was like, "That's not gonna fly." So
unacceptable.
Yeah, that is truly. And it was Lips, right? The next one,
Got It.
Got It. Yeah.
Got It was our first to go to #1, but before that, my Zella Day remix did.
And I was like, this is totally unacceptable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quit the band today. Yeah, but no, now it's great. No, it's fine.
So how are you guys mapping out like the short-term goals? Is there like a solid plan? Do you know what the move is for the kickoff of 2020?
Yeah. We have a new EP. It's called the Was It Not EP. There's some really special songs on there. The title song will be the next single, which will be sometime in January, early next year. And it's one of our favorites we've ever done. Yeah. I think it has like a really distinctly must be a Marian Hill song feel to it. Yeah. And Sam's voice sounds incredible. There's some sax, which hasn't happened yet, and we've got that in the bag.
Love that.
And there's an R&B slow jam ballad that is,
I think will surprise people.
Yeah, and is the most personal song that I've ever had for Marian Hill. It's written from the perspective of my girlfriend.
Oh, cool.
And makes us all cry. But yeah, it's a special project. It'll be out in early 2020. And it's thematically both with Was It Not and that last one I was talking about, we're playing a lot with memory and like kind of being 29 right now, 29 going on 30. Yeah. Like,
don't even say it.
Thinking about
the beginning of the end.
I've been fascinated by the perspective changes by having a whole important chapters of your life where you were an adult that are in your past. Like, that's new. Yeah. Like I just for so long was in the mindset of like either something is like a thing for me right now that happened recently that I can talk about as something that just happened, or I was a kid when it happened. Like, oh, I was in college. Like, oh, like that was a different time. Yeah. And now there's so much vivid, important stuff that is distant like that. Yeah. But I was fully me, and it's totally like interesting to wrestle with like what that feels like and what. Yeah.
It's a transitional year.
Right. So we're thinking EP and touring.
Yeah. We're talking about a tour around the EP sometime in the spring, and we're really excited to get back out there.
Are there expectations with this? Where's your head at with that? With charts surpassing the last EP, the last batch of songs. Do you guys try to get away from? I would try to get away from that, but where are you guys at with that?
I think we're trying to keep our heads down and put out music that we really love. Make sure of that. Make sure of the quality. But aside from that, I'm really more trying to calibrate towards like continuing to like build our fan base, keep them happy, continue to like tour and keep our live show going, and continue to like establish Marian Hill as like this reliable, really exciting source for really interesting pop music.
Yeah, I think we set the bar high for ourselves too, and I think like absolutely, like once you have a taste of something like we've had in the past, I think like of course it's natural to want that again.
Right.
But I do think like it is a very transitional year, and I think we're in a very interesting place, and I think it's interesting because we're not a new band, but we haven't been doing it for like 20 years. So I think we're kind of exploring this next phase together and seeing, you know, with new partners and sort of seeing what's possible,
Right.
where we can go.
Right.
Sort of like looking inwards.
Yeah. Like, what's the next chapter for Marian Hill? Because it
Yeah.
might not be like pop top charting necessarily, as great as that would be. Like, we'll take it
Right.
for sure. We love it.
Yeah.
But like that doesn't need to be the recipe for our success right now necessarily. It's more just about making music we love and continuing to be able to bring it around the country.
Yeah, I think those times when they happen organically, that's the best times. And I think a lot of the bands or artists that are like, hey, we're just going to stay true to ourselves and make the best music we can possibly make. And then when certain songs hit, they hit. And then I think that's
all you
awesome.
can do as an artist. It's really hard. I feel like if you get wrapped up in the promo,
Totally.
which you have to increasingly now, but it's at the end of the day, it's just like your job as the artist is to make really good art.
Yeah.
And that's the most important place that your head can be. That's where your focus needs to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone download Take a Number like you do.
Yeah.
Songs are amazing. EP coming top of the year.
Yeah.
Super early. And then you're just going to be on the road for the rest of your lives. For all of your 30s.
Love it. I'll take it.
Marian Hill, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.